What's up? What's going on? Hopefully everybody's having a good Thursday. It's already Thursday. Hopefully everybody is excited. I wasn't expecting to get as many episodes in, but I got everybody kind of wanting to get on this week and get some stuff in, especially post-shot. So yeah, it's freezing, bro. It's freezing out there. So post-shot show, everybody wants to get in. I got good news. We're going to have Suresh from 221B Tactical on. We're going to be giving away some optics. I appreciate everybody leaving the reviews. I need everybody to continue to leave the reviews. So I'm going to be pushing that. I'm not going to be as obnoxious about it, but I need everybody to continue to push the reviews on Podbean and on the different platforms, especially iTunes and everywhere else. We're giving away an optic tonight, and I might even give away a 1911. So I really need everybody to kind of invite friends in here. I'm not going to do it if there's going to be, 15 people in here or whatever. I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm good. What's up? What's going on? So I'm going to tell you guys straight out. I'm not giving it away if it's going to be, a small crew tonight. So I want to get a good crew in here. I want people to invite people into the live, let people know what's going on, and I want to get it rolling. So let's figure it out. I am broadcasting now on my Facebook, specifically. It's a public page, because a lot of people have been asking me about where to see and where to find this on IG. Airplanes launched. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, to everybody that's on YouTube, please subscribe, please like, please do all the necessaries on YouTube. I appreciate it. The YouTube stuff helps. The more you share it, the more you push it, it helps. I want to thank the sponsors for a minute. I want to thank 221B Tactical for coming on tonight first. I want to thank Taurus. I want to thank Riton Optics. And I want to thank Kenzies Optics, of course. Greatly appreciated. Thank you to everybody. So, hopefully everybody's having a good week. Answering a couple of messages, getting everybody... What's up, Joe? Getting everybody squared away. I do want to square away one thing before Suresh comes on, and I know he will be in here. I want to button up something. A few people messaged me, and somebody messaged me, and I don't know what goes on out there in the social interwebs. I don't have any inclination as to what... I block people. I told you I don't know what goes on. People message me, and they tell me about this, they tell me about that. And people message me about quote-unquote friends I had or people in my circle, whatever that bullshit is. I don't know those people. I don't know them. So I don't name names. You guys know that. I don't name any names. And before Suresh gets in here, I just want to be insanely clear about this. I don't get involved in the drama. If I can avoid the drama any freaking way humanly possible, I avoid it. Like the plague. So when people message me and say, call me, my cat dropped dead, this happened to me, I'll be honest, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I just don't. No offense. Yeah, it's Joe. It's just, I can't do it. I can't do it. So there's people out there that they claim to be my friend or they claim to know me. I'm going to tell you right now, if there's not a picture of them on my page or you've never heard me talk about them, I don't know them. I don't know them. There's one person out there that thinks he's in his mind, I think he thinks he's my friend. And I get these messages and I get this crazy shit. And I don't know him. It's actually getting a little scary. The messages I get, it's getting scary. I don't know. What's up, Savage? And Derek, you know what I mean. I mean, it's getting a little spooky, some of the stuff I get. And I don't know. I just don't know what to make of it. So yeah, it's something like that, Franny. I don't know. I don't know. It's a little spooky. It's starting to get scary. I mean, I've literally, some of these people, I've had one, maybe two phone conversations with them, tops, in my entire life. It's borderline obsessive. PP pics. No PP pics. But a little freaky. Little freaky. I don't know if I have a man fan, but I have I have some weird people, semi-auto kid, that like show up in my lives or show up in my DMs, and they're like, hey man, you know, we gotta catch up. We have to, and I've never talked to these people. I've talked to them maybe once in my life. Or they want to tell me stories about drama, and I don't care. I don't care. I don't know, Ruben. It's weird. It's honestly, it's weird. You know, if in my opinion, and it's just my humble opinion, guys. If you haven't talked to someone, I don't know what the rules are. If you haven't talked to someone in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, what's the rules? Should your name be coming out of their mouth? You know, I mean, valid question. It's a valid question. I think it's a fair one. Get your thoughts. I don't know. But whatever. That's some weird shit, brothers. Definitely, I have, oh my wallet. It's weird. I got this long DM from someone, you know, about how they hope all's good with me. They miss talking to me. I'm like this. It's like really surreal. And I don't. And just so everybody knows, I get like messages. I mean, this is crazy. I gotta. Is that normal? Is that normal? I don't know. I think, and I think part of the issue is, guys, I think part of the issue is people think because of social media they know somebody. They think they know them. They think they're like their best buddy. So my big suggestion to people is you have to be careful. Now I have if you're a regular in my lives, you're a regular, he's coming on in a few, Ruben. I'm going to sign off and sign back on so he has the full hour. But I just wanted to address this. I think for a lot of people, the misconception is that they know somebody or they have this like kindred relationship with somebody because they watch them online. Now, if you're a regular follower of me or you're a regular watcher, I get it. I'll give you that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, whatever. Fair enough. I'll give you that. But yeah, I mean, I'll let you kind of chime in, or maybe even I'll get close with you. You know, but oh Jesus, Ruben. But it's just, yeah, I mean, Frenny, it's unrealistic. You know, if you're from the neighborhood, like Frenny is, you know, some of these people in here, I have close personal relationships with them. They know me. They know the people I run with. No, God. But, you know, I'm not being rude. It's just some of it is a little, it does get a little scary, you know? So it is what it is. It is what it is. So We'll see what happens. But anyway, what I'm going to do, guys, to make this easy for the 15 of you in here, I want to give... relationship with someone before you do stuff. That's true. It's a good way to put it, semi-auto kid. I like that. You gotta have a relationship with somebody. You gotta have some. There's gotta be some ties that bind. I call it ties that bind. I'd love to have the time to talk to everybody. I would, but it's crazy when people like, you know, go, you know, give me a call. You know, like I don't have that kind of time. It's whatever. What I'm going to do, guys, so here's going to be the rules. So I'm going to go over the rules because then I'm going to sign off and sign back on because I'm going to let Suresh in here. So here's the deal. We're going to give away a Riton Optic for sure. I think it's 1x6. We're going to give away some other stuff. Suresh is going to come on. We're going to talk. I want to give him the ample amount of time without getting kicked off. What's up, Noah? Yeah, the shower. I want to give the ample amount of time. Whoever is in here who hasn't been in here, here's the rules. It's really simple. Head over to iTunes. Leave a review. I need you to tap a 5-star review. Leave a review. Head over to Podbean. Download and leave a review. If you can. Head over to YouTube. Please, everybody in here, I'm really asking a favor. Head over to YouTube and tap the thumbs up. I want to try to beef that up a little bit. I want to see how that does. I'm playing around with some things. I need to see how the algorithm performs. I am going to sign off of this and then sign right back on. Comment done and tag the sponsors underneath my last post, like we always say to do. Comment done, tag and I'm going to leave you guys alone. I'll put the rules on the bottom once Suresh comes on and we'll talk. But go do all that stuff really fast while I sign off, and then I'm going to sign back on, and we're going to do this live. It's going to be badass. I may even throw in a 1911. It's going to get a little crazy. But I'm going to give you guys a minute to work. So head over to iTunes if you haven't left a 5-star review or a written review. Podbean, YouTube, and head over to YouTube and do me a favor and tap the thumbs up. I want to see how many thumbs ups we can get in the YouTube really fast. So I'm looking to get crazy tonight, but I definitely need everybody. Yep, that's right. John Bartolo Show. So head over to iTunes. The iTunes one's the big one. I'm trying to beef up those reviews as fast as humanly possible so then I can kind of leave it alone and let it coast. But do me that favor. I'm going to sign off, sign back on, give you guys 2 minutes. So we'll do a 2-minute warning on that. I'll still be on YouTube really fast, but I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. I just want to refresh this Instagram feed because you only get an hour, and I don't want him to get shortchanged. So go hop to it. So there goes the Instagrammers. So I'm going to give them 1 second. And while I do and everybody's hopping around, sorting things out, having a lot of fun, I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Vortex for the continued support. I want to thank, as always, like I said, Kenzies, and I want to thank Brock Hooten, who was on the other day. Big thank you to him. Had some great calls today, had some awesome interactions, and had a lot of fun. I'm going to give everybody on the team a few minutes. For those of you that are jumping in on YouTube, giving you guys a minute to kind of tap the thumbs up. I'm going to go live again on Instagram. We'll get the party going there. But you know, I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody doing the damn thing and pushing this. It doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't go unappreciated. Everybody's been awesome, to say the least. Awesome. Can't thank everybody enough. I could probably never return the favor no matter how many 1911s I give away. So I just appreciate everybody. And I want to thank all you guys for taking the time to participate in this stuff. Some of you have been in here 3, 4, 5 times this week, and that means a lot. And it means the world to me to have you support this, because, like I said before, this was something that was born out of, you know, people asking for it. I can bring that back. So, you know, it was a big deal. I'm going to see if he's ready, and I'll get all you guys back on. But hopefully everybody understands that I'm being insanely genuine and I really do appreciate everybody. But I put something up earlier that stems off of what I was talking about, which was the whole negative culture thing. It was a Joe Rogan clip that I put up, and I want everybody to know I can't take that shit this year. Can't do it. I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. There's some people, I mean, I just can't do it. I can't be a part of it. So I'm going to put Instagram back on. We'll get this rolling. I'm going to put the rules. All right. Guys, just a quick update. When you comment on the last post, some of you guys, 717 Tactical, you leave like 4,000 messages. I appreciate it, but don't get crazy. You know, you want to put a couple, increase your chances, cool. You put 52, not cool. So I want to put a 2 to 3 cap on that, like kind of, you know, kind of keep it reasonable, guys. Keep it reasonable, you know. So Suresh is coming in now. We're going to talk SHOT Show AIDS, and we're going to talk all things tactical. Tactical. There he is. Oh. You look better than I look.
What?
You look better than me, and you're sicker than I am.
That's it. I got the magic potion right here.
You do. You do.
Hang on a second. Let me set this camera up here. All right.
Get organized. Get organized. Get yourself together.
I know.
You got some type of signage in the back now. It's looking professional. What do you got back there?
Bro, I got the full 221B tactical spread.
This is amazing.
You know, we got the professional studio.
Oh my
God. We
God.
got the John Bartolo approved. Hang on.
Oh, the
Someone
mic.
really smart told me to get one of these.
Yeah.
So
It makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It's huge.
Huge.
Huge difference. So, thank you for that.
You just need headphones
feeling,
now.
Feeling better. I sucked down one of these things. These things.
Yeah.
I sucked down one of these things. It has all kinds of
So for everybody that doesn't know, I'm gonna say some nice things about Suresh because he ain't gonna say them about himself. This man works almost as hard as I do.
Almost.
He's been on the road for like 30 days straight, traveling across country, selling his brand, doing everything he can. This motherfucker was in SHOT Show for 10 days. He goes to Dallas. He's here. He's there. He's everywhere. He's barely breathing now. He got back. He had to have Theraflu. He needed a Coke and a Smile. He's been getting his ass handed to him. But he puts the work in. And that's kind of what, you know, everybody's been asking me all kinds of questions on this thing. We're going to get to SHOT Show. We're going to get to everything else. But I do want to say this, and this is a compliment to you. People don't realize that you can be successful in this business. Just to every small Kydex bender out there, guy sewing stuff in his basement, you know, the person making tactical slippers, whatever it is. Here's a guy who started with a company that I met, and we're going to get to the funny story of the question I was asked at SHOT. We'll get to that. But here's a guy that I met 3 or 4 years, almost 5 years now. And he's on the SHOT floor, and he doesn't have a booth, and he had, like, you know, just got started, and here he is now. so impressive. It's like, it's really an honor to call you my friend and to see you go through that and see you go through that journey. And I know I had you on the other podcast before, but to see you go through that and see you have that experience, and now, you're there. So tell everybody that they can do it too.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know my story, and I know we got a handful of people on here, and hopefully we can get a good group of people, because I'm going to do a giveaway tonight, and I want to make some people feel good. It's cold, it's miserable, so what else is going to make you feel better except winning some free gear, right?
Right.
Listen, man. There is no reason in the world I should have made it, right? There was every reason in the world for me not to make it. From, my amazing tan to where I grew up to, John, I grew up on Staten Island, New York. It was like the Italian capital of the world. It still kind of is. Mm-hmm. And made it from Staten Island to New Jersey, and the town in New Jersey I grew up in was like just unbelievable. It was like 99.9% Caucasian. It was about a mile by a mile. I think we had one traffic light, very blue collar, everyone driving an old pickup truck around, that kind of deal. And, there I was, the only brown kid in the entire town. I felt like I was the only brown kid on the planet some days, and, East Boston Island, right? So, yeah, man, I had everything against me. So, single mom, working multiple jobs as a nurse, out of state. I was home alone. I could have went this way, but I stayed on the path, and, I signed myself up for Boy Scouts. I rode my BMX bike to the local church and signed myself up for Boy Scouts. And after I saw them panhandling at the local supermarket where I was buying groceries myself as like a 10-year-old or 11-year-old kid. And, there were a lot of times where I said to myself, man, this is a tough road. How am I gonna do this? But, my mom ruled with an iron fist, all 4'11" of her. And, she didn't take any nonsense. And, when it came to school and grades, if I got a 99, I got in trouble for dropping that 1 point, and that's how it was. She said, listen, you're going to go to school, you're going to become a doctor. People in medicine was something that was really, into, and that was something she wanted me to do. So, that was that. And, that's what I went to school for. I signed myself up for sports. I did everything I could to stay on the straight and narrow, and I knew that was going to entail keeping me busy. So, signed myself up for baseball, football, basketball, anything I could. And, when it came to, becoming a police officer, once again, people know the story. You know the story. I became a police officer. I finished my pre-med program. I graduated, degree biochemistry. I minored in physics and mathematics and like 3 other things. School was just, always intriguing for me. And I decided, hey, listen, I'm not going to go into medicine. I want to become a police officer. I did want to go to the Navy. One of my good friends went to the Navy, and I was always envious of him. And he became a SEAL, a great guy, and that's what I wanted to do. And my mom said, no, you are not joining the military. So that was something that she was not going to go for. So I said, I'm going to become a cop. And I didn't even think I told her at first. And the department I applied for, once again, was an all-Caucasian department. They had never in their history hired a minority, and this was like in 2003, a town in South Jersey. So that was it, you went for it, and with everyone telling me, you're not going to get hired, you're not going to get the job, you're not going to this, that, everyone and their mother told me that. And, you're from Staten Island, no one's going to hire a Staten Island guy, this is a Jersey town. And guess what happened? I got hired, and, that's all she wrote. Working on the job, I said I always wanted to be better. I wanted to, learn more, do more, be more. And that's how I got taking these classes and these courses about business and business development. And I realized I always had to work a little bit harder than everyone else because I looked different. I looked different, and I knew that I had to dress a little sharper, speak a little more, let me say, proper, and, carry myself and conduct myself in a manner that was a couple of clicks above everybody else, just so I could stay in that realm. Because I knew if I didn't, when I was growing up, my buddies can go out in their sweatpants and a hoodie and, go to the supermarket, pick up snacks, pick up a Slurpee, whatever. I realized that if I went out in sweatpants and a hoodie and I was walking into the Quickie Mart, I was getting eyed up because they were saying, oh, here's this brown guy in this all-white town. This might, something might be going down here. And so I realized I had to, semi-auto kid said it, I had to adapt. I had no choice. Whether you want to adapt or not, if you don't accept the fact in certain situations that you must adapt. Now, some people say, oh, that's screwed up, that's messed up, you shouldn't have to do that. Guess what? That is survival. And either you adapt or you get left behind. That's it. That's the only way to go.
Right.
So that's what I did. I did it. When I went out with my friends, they were dressed however they would want to dress. I had to put on khakis and a button down just so I looked a little sharper. I had everything in the world happen to me from certain, a girl's parents telling her, her that, she wasn't allowed to hang out with me. I had other kids' houses that I wasn't allowed over. I took it in stride. I had to keep my head up. And I said, one day I'm going to get to that point where I can hold my head up high and carry myself in a certain way. And I had to start. I had to start being that person at such a young age because I had no choice. And it holds true today. You got to be the person you want to be tomorrow. You got to start being that person today. So despite everyone in my town that would treat me differently because I was the only brown kid in town, teachers that would treat me differently because of the color of my skin, parents of kids that I knew who would treat me different, you name it. I endured all of it. But I knew I had to step up. I had to rise above it. Now, I could have said, oh, man, this sucks. Everyone's against me. The world's against me. This is BS. This is that. This is this. And I could have made excuses, and I could have went down a different path. And I just said, you know what? This is the world I'm living in. And I had two choices here. I could either complain about it, bury my head, get angry, and go one direction, or hold my head up high, conduct myself at a higher level, hold myself at a higher regard, put the way those people were treating me aside. I put my faith in God, and I said, this is what I got to do. This is what I'm doing it. And that's what I did. And now I went from, the bottom of the bottom to becoming a police officer in one of the most prestigious towns in the state, and then starting a company. Once again, the bottom of the bottom. I started a company in my garage. You know this, John. There was like cobwebs, and, it was just a garage. And driving product to the post office literally in a laundry basket to mail out myself. And fast forward, we're, going into our, bless you, or if that was cough, I don't know. What are you drinking, Slurpee?
AIDS.
Emergency, whatever this is.
Shot your AIDS.
And, I said I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. I know that I have ideas in my mind that are going to help police officers, help first responders. And I didn't stop. I just kept going. I kept going. And I knew that I had no choice but to keep going because if I wanted to make it, I had to work that much harder than the next person. I still do that. I still think that. You and I were walking around SHOT Show, and I know this year was different than last year, different than the year before. And, I sent you that photo from you and I 2 years ago when Bacardi met Cola. And, that was the original Crockett and Tubbs photo. Mm-hmm. And, how far we've come since then. And that, listen, that's all about grinding. You grinding, me grinding, and just trying to push. I have no choice. To me, if I'm not pushing, I'm getting left behind. So every day that I wake up, I realized, okay, I have to do X, Y, and Z today. If I don't, I'm going to be left behind. Someone else is going to surpass me. And trust me, growing up, a lot of that time, the thought in my mind was someone with lighter skin is going to surpass me. Just because maybe they have an advantage or whatever. You know, you tell yourself all kinds of crazy stories. Now, today, I realize no one has an advantage over anyone. What people have a choice of is working hard, reading books, learning, acquiring knowledge. If you gain more knowledge and you commit to gaining more knowledge than the other person, you are going to surpass them. It is that simple. I locked up guys that were, you know, young black men, and they would tell me their sob story. I'd lock them up, they'd tell me their sob story of what they endured. I said, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Look at me. Look what I was able to do. Look what I was able to become. You know, I kept myself off the streets, so I focused on school, went to school, studied to, you know, become a physician, ultimately became a cop. That's what I chose to do. And I had every reason in the world not to go down that road. Every reason. No dad, no mom in the picture. She was always working. I had every reason in the world to become just some derelict kid on the street, jerking off, robbing people, doing whatever. I had a choice. I knew I had to make that choice. And we all have choices to make. So that's the choice I made. So when I locked up people, young men of color, and they would give me some kind of stuff, started a company, and now I went from my garage to, my CEO corner office in Times Square. What's your excuse? You're going to say that, you know, no, you can't do it? You can do it. You're just telling yourself a story that you can't. That's it. You know, and I don't listen to that garbage, you know. Yeah, it could have been another. It's funny, semi-auto kid, you got some gloves coming at you. I know that we've been going crazy back and forth with SHOT Show, but we owe you some gloves, and they're coming at you, brother. So don't let us forget that. You know, so that's how I worked, and you know, your story about where you came from, and you know, it's funny. There's a lot of times where when you come up and you get to a certain level, if you haven't done certain things along the way, there's people who somewhat feel you don't deserve being at that level. And to me, I'll go up against anyone who's going to say that I don't deserve to be here where I am now. And I'll tell them my story, and I'll show that they had every advantage in the world above me. And I made it happen. I made it happen with sheer will, sheer desire. You know, what no one sees right now is how I looked about 2 hours ago. John knows how I looked 2 hours ago.
I'm amazed.
I was a mess. I was beard, snot coming out of my nose, crusties in my eyes. You name
kept
it.
The beard.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Yeah, that is the epitome of what people need to harness.
You know,
people need to harness that doing what you need to do, even if you don't feel like doing it.
I wanna stop you there for a second because you said so much stuff. I got a page of notes here. A few things. Number one, I want to be clear. Suresh and I have been friends a while now, and I tell everybody this in this business. 4 or 5 years is a lifetime in this business, you know. And you talk every day, and you interact every day, and you communicate. And he and I do. He's someone I respect, and I've watched him get into each other's stories too much. We never really went down that road of getting into it. And it's an amazing story. It really is. And we all have a story. To everybody out there in the interwebs and everybody listening, we all have a story. I can sit here and say, you know, and I posted the Joe Rogan thing earlier, why not me, or woe is me, and you know, I don't ever get out there. And Suresh, you know my story. You know, I've taken more bullets in this business than anybody. I'll put the bullets I've taken up against your story any day of the week and twice on Sunday. And it's not easy. But you have to expect that if you're going to grind it out and you're going to get to a certain place, it's going to take time and it's going to take hard work, and there are going to be people that are going to come at you. And what did I say? What did I say to you? I go, once you get to a certain level, they're going to come after you.
Oh yeah.
It's only a matter of time. And you can do all the good in the world. You know, we talked about this before. You and I sat there one night. We were joking around. We started the Freedom Broker thing. All in fun, all in good fun. We were having a good time. Whooping it up, eating a sandwich in the corner. And even that gets bastardized and twisted and whatever. But, you know, I'm here to give back to this great community. I love the community. I started the podcast because walking around SHOT, you saw it. People wanted to bring it back. People were asking me about it. You know, hey, you're going to get back on air. You're going to do some things. And I'm messing around with it. To everybody listening right now, I'm messing around with it. We're having fun. We're doing some airtime, getting some content out there. I don't think I'm the brightest guy in the room. I certainly don't think I'm the fastest guy in the field. And I certainly don't think I'm the smartest guy in the conversation. But I enjoy giving back to you guys any way that I can and having some fun with it. And I know that you love this game too. And it's awesome and contagious and exciting to be around people that just stimulate. Like you and I talk sometimes on the phone for hours and, you know, we're talking about nonsense, but we're throwing ideas around and we're pushing the walls and we're pushing the envelope and we're trying to develop this community into what I think is the greatest community in the world. There is no better time than right now in this community. We have the right guy elected. We have the right situation. We have everything. And it's a lot of fun. And I'm not talking about the rhetoric guys, and I'm not trying to make it political. But it's a great community. And there's always going to be rhetoric. Doesn't matter who's elected. But I want everybody to know your story, everything you've accomplished. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And it means a lot to have you share it. You know, and I don't know that you've shared it long form like that, but it's amazing. I do want to give a quick shout out to Riton Optics. We're going to be giving away an optic. We're going to give away a 1x4 tonight. So we're going to give away a 1x4 Mod 3. I know Suresh will be doing some work with them in the coming future. I'm looking forward to it. They have a fantastic CEO. This will stem into talking a little bit about SHOT too. We had an awesome conversation with Brady over there. Great crew he's got over there. He's putting together a team, and we've watched his company grow. And a lot of people, you know, people say all the time, you know, I heard it when I get into the business. Oh, Vortex, this, that, you know, Riton now. Oh, another optics company. I mean, give the guy credit. He's going in the right direction. It's what he's doing. Yeah,
it's a hard space to get into. I mean, to jump into a space where there are so many companies and so many behemoths. You have Night Force, you have Vortex, you have so many big companies in there. And he jumped in, and Brady has done something that most people would have probably said was unthinkable or would have advised against it. And he's created something incredible. And, you know, Matt, I mean, you know, John, that, and most of the people see that all the only optics I run now are Riton Optics. And John, you know, and I don't need to say this, Riton Optics doesn't pay me. They didn't pay me. You know, they got great optics. It was a pleasure to be at their booth and speak to Brady and speak to Callie and, you know, just see what they have coming out for 2019 and see the quality of the products that they're putting out and the value you are getting for the price that you're paying for their optics is unbelievable. That to me, that's like the best thing about it, the value.
You know, I'm going to say this carefully. I probably would have advised him against it. It might be the toughest market to get into. And I give him a lot of credit for getting into it.
Yeah.
I would say soft goods and bags and the stuff you're into is not far behind. No doubt. It is what it is. But, you know, I always say this to everybody and everybody listening. The companies I choose to work with and the companies I love that I've worked with in the past, it's where they're going that I really pay attention to. It's very easy to jump on the bandwagon of a winner. You know, I can tell you who the quarterback was for the Patriots before Drew Bledsoe. A lot of people can't do that. So to me, you have to understand where a team's going, the direction they're going, and what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish. And that was one thing I used to say about Vortex back in the day. You've heard me say it 100 times. Right on, Brady's doing some great things over there. He's exciting. He's got a ways to go still, and he's grinding it out. Now, this stems a little bit into SHOT Show, and I know I did a SHOT Show recap show, and you're just getting back and getting over the SHOT Show AIDS. You've been going to SHOT Show a bit now. We noticed the foot traffic was down this year. It was a quiet year. To everybody listening, coming in and out, paying attention, participating in the contest, and we are going to give away an optic and a whole bunch of other stuff. What's your take on SHOT Show at this point, and what's your take on the direction the industry's going, and where do you see it playing out the next year and a half?
Well, there has been like in the law enforcement world, there's been such a low amount of innovation that it's troubling. It's troubling to see that a cop in 2019 is essentially wearing the same stuff on their duty belt and wearing the same stuff on their body that they wore in 1999. Not too much is different. Maybe the flashlight has gotten smaller, and maybe the PR-24 has turned into an acid baton. But that aside, Emma, what's going on? There's such little innovation in the law enforcement space. In the firearms space, the issue that you're having at SHOT Show, I think, is that you're walking that show, and once again, you're not seeing anything that is really wowing people. You're seeing a bunch of different guns, and you're seeing some beautiful guns displayed beautifully. However, you're not being presented with innovation that is so much ahead of what you saw last year. John, I don't know if you've ever gone to the auto show. Have you ever been to the auto show?
SEMA?
What's that?
SEMA?
No. The International Auto Show. They have it in New York. They have it in a couple other spots. It's
I've
the
been to
International
SEMA.
Auto Show. It's where the car companies debut their cars. Every time I go to that show, you see innovation that is well ahead of what you saw last year.
Concept.
And you see concept cars. You see things coming in the works. You see technology advancing, and you're saying to yourself, "Wow, this is incredible, man! Last year's model is already obsolete." So you're seeing a lot of that. When you look at, I say to myself, what's the next big thing? What's going to be that next big evolution in firearms? Because I've walked that show for 5 years now. You've probably walked it for longer.
8.
And you're seeing rifles, you're seeing pistols, you're seeing optics, you're seeing the same old stuff, some upgrades here and there, which are good, but you got to say to yourself, when is someone going to do something that's going to rattle and disrupt the industry? When is there going to be some radical innovation? Once in a while you see something, but, it's amazing how at SHOT Show there's so many companies that are there just to be there, just to have a presence, but they're not really there presenting anything new, anything exciting, anything, really earth-shattering. They're just there. You and I see it. There's people, thousands of people walking by certain booths, and people aren't even glancing at the booth because there's just nothing there. It's like a table and, a chair and 2 people standing in the booth, and no one even knows what they're there for. They have, some company name, and you say to yourself, what's going on here? Not only was the volume as far as traffic down this year, but I think a lot of people who had come there that I spoke to were kind of resigned. They kind of were like, kind of the same old stuff. There's 1 or 2 things I want to see, but that's really it. How many bags, how many tactical backpacks, how many rifles, how many pistols can you really see before you're like, okay, I've seen it all?
You know, you raise a good point. You know, there's a few companies out there, and I will name some names that I'm impressed by, you know, that caught my eye. You know, I really enjoy, and I'm going to be careful here. I don't want to leave people out, but I want to bring a few names up. I really enjoy year after year what Rich Angsted's doing over at Angstead Arms. I think he keeps innovating and making the truck gun exciting. You know, he's got a stock on there now that's pretty badass. I mean, he's pretty much made that gun about this big at this point, and it's fun. I mean, when you look at that, you're like, I want one.
Yep.
So and I like what Rich is doing.
With like the small boot, right?
Mm-hmm. I like what Rich is doing. I really enjoy a lot of what I see we went over to Century in the Canic.
Yep.
Gotta admit, I like that. Yep. And I'm not being a homer saying this. I enjoyed what Taurus is doing.
Yep.
I think Taurus is so big and such a juggernaut that when they get it right, they can put the money and the resources behind it to push it. Yeah. They have the ability. In the bag market and in the soft goods market, of course, you know, somebody brought up Mystery Ranch, the Grey Ghosts, those guys. They're always innovating. I mean, there's only so much you can do with a bag, you know, over time. But, you know, I always dig what they're doing and what they're looking into and how they're doing it. I've been messing around with an Eberly stock and a few other bags. So, you know, there's always fun innovation in that market. But by and large, yeah, you're absolutely right. There hasn't been a company that's come along really since Glock that's come in and I mean, when you take a look at like a company like Glock over the last 30 years, they're the biggest booth, second biggest booth next to SIG maybe in the building. And that's over a 30-year span. That's not a 100-year-old company. That's a 30-year span. So it's possible. But I did like some of what I saw out of those few brands. And you know, in the optics market, I think what you're going to continue to see the price differential come down to reality. And that's what I think companies like Riton and Vortex and companies are doing. They're bringing that price differential to a realistic place. And I think that's more what you'll see. You know, a lot of people ask me what's improved the most. I say bullet technology has gotten better. That's why I see people gravitate towards the 9, primers, powder, things like that, refinement have gotten better. But, you know, by and large, yeah, you walk around SHOT Show, and I tell everybody this, you don't see a lot of things that you're like, whoa, you know, this knocked my socks off, or this was like something totally different. And I think that that's not, it's more a reflection of the industry as a whole, and where it's at. I think people are scared to put a lot of money into research and development and into spaces where they just don't know what they'll get. I mean, having, you know, run a rifle company and been involved in deep levels of R&D, you know, at a high level, you're gonna pour a lot of money into that rainbow, and there's only so much you can do with an AR platform, and there's only so much you can do with an AK platform, and there's only so much you can do in those spaces. You know, it's kind of like exploring your backyard, you know, like once you've hit every crevice, there's not much more to look at. So, you know, I think what the industry needs is, and I think we saw major evolutions in the marketing. The biggest thing I would say this, Suresh, is there's not a lot. I sit and I talk to these marketing directors, and you know this better than anybody. There's not a lot of marketing directors out there that are really thinking out of the box. A lot of people are still stuck on the tit of IG and stuck on the tit of certain spaces, and their brain doesn't go past that. You know what I mean? Yep. Their brain won't go past a big following or anything like they won't look at, you know, and believe it or not, to all the little guys out there, I'm trying to get their brain to go into different spaces. You hear me talk about it every day. You know, look in different areas. Stop being so IG-centric, You know,
Listen, you and I both know if Instagram disappeared tomorrow, there'd be about 1 million companies that would just fall off the face of the earth.
Oh my God. Maybe more.
Right. Right.
And I think,
True.
and I think you'd see a lot of people jumping out of a window.
Yeah, I was going to say, people jumping off of buildings because they lose their identity. They have nothing else except their IG identity. And if Instagram disappeared, they would be down to being nobody. They have no presence on Google, no presence on YouTube. They have no intrinsic value except, I don't know, how their butt and their boobs look on IG.
I will say this. I have to bring this up with you on. 4 years ago, I was panned for bringing fitness and bringing that lifestyle, that culture, that industry into the firearms industry. People made fun of me. People mocked me. People talked shit, whatever you want to say.
Yep.
And it was refreshing to walk around SHOT Show and see people I knew from the fitness industry walking around SHOT. You have, for lack of better words, you have the Bill Goldbergs, the Cody Montgomerys, the folks, every year Lou Ferrigno's a staple at SHOT. You had Jay Cutler, who happens to own an ammo company, by the way. People don't know that. But, you have these people and these personalities getting involved and getting out there. And I tried to explain to people over and over again, it's not about the gym. It's about bringing more people in that are supportive of the mission and of what we're trying to accomplish as an industry. And get more dollars through the register and get more people involved. And the fitness industry, the fitness industry in the United States, that show culture, they're very passionate about what they do. And people for a long time were like, what is he doing? Bodybuilders with guns and this and that. I'm like, isn't the goal here to put guns in everybody's hands? I was confused. I was like, why are people mad? But it was refreshing to see that little bit of a shift away from the, the gun-centric, like they have to be a gun guru or they have to be this or they have to be that. It was nice to see a little bit of a change there, a little bit of a shift there in that thought process. At least that shows a little bit of a maturity on the company's behalf to be willing to bring in other folks and start to think out of the box. That was refreshing.
You need to. There has to be a blend because, markets have their limits, right? So once you hit the capacity within a certain market, you got to look outside that market. If the only people that came to SHOT Show were cops and hunters, SHOT Show would implode. Mm-hmm. So you need to expand beyond that market. You need to get people who are in different spaces that have an interest in firearms. You got to expand that. We're obligated in this community to reach out to other domains, other arenas, and bring these people in. That's our obligation if we want to sustain the community. You know the people that are out there that they're not necessarily in the gun world. They're not professional shooters or anything like that, but they are gun fanatics. There are a lot of people in the fitness world who enjoy shooting. Bring them in. Bring them on board. There's people in the racing world that enjoy shooting. Bring them on in. That's it. We want them. We want to. I don't care if you're like in the world of chess. If you like to shoot guns, you like to go to the range, and you want come on in. We want to have you there. So that, and of course, high-profile people help that cause. Mm-hmm. People who have a big following, people who are very well known. Bring them in. We want to have those people in. Responsible gun ownership, enthusiasm about shooting, firearms, different firearms. It doesn't have to be a competing thing. It just has to be I enjoy guns. Bring them in.
Yeah, I think it's just about putting more guns in people's hands. I think that's the number one thing, and I think that's what you have to do. Is you just have to strive to try to put more firearms in people's hands. I think I can't take credit for that statement. I think it was Taryn Butler who said that. So I think that's what it's all about. I think it's just about creating an atmosphere where you have more people aware, more people getting involved, more people being willing to support and go to the local gun store, go to Derek's gun store at Savage Cerakote and pick up a product and spend some money. I mean, I know I could ask 5 guys right now if the money was green, would they take it? And they would say yes. I mean, you're not going to sit there and be like, well, geez, what's your background? What did you do? Or what makes you qualified to give me your money? You're going to say, hey, is the money green? And I think everybody sits around and, kind of pontificates and plays Pope for a minute, and they're like, well, you have to have this, and you have to have that, and you have to, you have to, have done this, and you have to have done that. I don't get it. I don't.
No,
I don't.
Foolishness.
I don't get. Does the
you know,
grocery?
people
I was going to say, does the grocery store, Suresh, when you get to the register with your groceries, do they say, "Are you fat enough to buy these?" I'm not sure you are. Do you know how to cook these the right way?
Are you a chef?
Are you a chef?
Right.
They're not going to do that.
No, they want your money.
They want your money.
Money's green, And, in the fitness world, there's a little bit of it, from the standpoint of, you have some credibility if you've competed.
Mm-hmm.
You have, you have some, credibility if you've, created something in that space. But you know what the reality is? If you're just a human being that is into working out, staying in shape, eating healthy, and that's what you want to do, hey, far out, come on in. If you are outside of the bodybuilding world, but you have a passion for fitness, I don't care if you're a librarian, I don't care if you're a housewife, I don't care if you're a cop, come on in. That's what you want in any industry. You want to bring people from outside that closed circle, and that's how you grow it. If the fitness industry was relegated to people who are only competing, the fitness industry would implode. You need to go beyond that. You need to get other people in there. The fitness. You've been to Olympia, you've been to Arnold. Mm-hmm. What percentage of the people walking that floor have competed on a stage? Maybe 5%. Mm-hmm. Maybe 7%. A very low percentage. The rest of those people who are standing online to get that, sample of that protein bar or that cookie or that peanut butter, they're just fitness enthusiasts, and they come from all walks of life, and they're welcome. Mm-hmm. They're welcome there. You gotta invite those people in. You gotta, welcome those people to the community and not push them away, because that's how we grow. That's how we grow. I read an article the other day about teachers in a certain school district. They were looking to, arm themselves and, for whatever reason. And you know what? Whether not on the political side of it, whether you think teachers should be armed or not, but from just the standpoint of they're at least open to saying, hey, I'm not a competitive shooter. I'm not a gun expert. I'm not a firearms instructor, but I'm someone who is a teacher that also has the capacity to shoot a gun, and I'd like to have one on me or learn how to shoot one. Great, far out. Whether that should belong in a school or not, that's a different conversation, and I'm not getting into that. But I love seeing people from all walks of life entertain something that's outside of their domain. That's how growth occurs.
I want to open it up to any questions, or anybody that comes on that has questions. Don't hesitate to ask. I see a lot of the usual suspects in here, and I appreciate it, guys. Tap the hearts, tap the paper airplanes. Send this out. We're going to give away a Riton Optic 1x4. Everybody's eligible. We're going to give that away. Head over to iTunes.
We'll give away some gloves, too.
We'll give away some gloves. Head over to iTunes. Give me a 5-star review. Head over to 221B Tactical and give him a plug and support his last post and tag a friend under his last post. And head over to all the different mediums, YouTube, Facebook. Support these guys. We're listening to Suresh's story and we're taking it all in. So take a minute and support his cause if you head out of here and come back in. Tremendous story. We're talking about a lot of really cool topics, and we can go on and on and on. And I think it's important for a lot of people to get into this. And somebody flashed by a few points, if you can't put a gun together in 10 seconds or this or that, it's tough. It's tough out there. There's a lot of people that are under a lot of misconceptions about what the firearms industry and what the defense industry is and isn't. And I think if they walk around SHOT Show for 10 minutes and they go up to these booths and they listen to some of these stories and they take in some of what these people are doing and the money they're putting up and their families, and they're trying to feed their families, and they're trying to do this, you will change in 30 seconds flat of hearing their story. I mean, you're just trying to help these people, and you're just trying to help them move their businesses forward. And if you're not doing that, then you don't have a soul,
Right.
Cassie asked a question. I would like to know how you've kept the passion to keep going in the face of diversity to become successful. Cassie, I'll let Suresh answer, and I'll give you my Reader's Digest version of my own answer, because I don't know which one of us you're directing that at, but I would assume Suresh. But I will say this, for me, what I've been up against is change, and people fear change. And I've always been representative of change around the industry, and I think that scares a lot of people, and it puts a fear into them. Oh God, I threaten the ecosystem. So I can say for me, and I think Suresh would agree, I represent a threat to the norm, and that's a fear that a lot of people have. How do I overcome it? I think you have to evolve. You have to want to continuously evolve, and if you're not evolving, then you're dead. When I came into this, people thought I wanted to be an instructor. People had no idea what I was doing behind the scenes with companies. They had no idea the amount of companies I was working with. And I will just say this, Cassie, sooner or later you've been kicked so much and pushed so much and rubbed so much the wrong way that all you can do is go forward. So I'll let Suresh bring up his point.
You can lay down.
Mm-hmm.
You can lay down. I've been, and you've dealt with a lot of it. That's a great question, Cassie. And, you have to have the desire to, and I say this wholeheartedly with anything. I don't care if you want to lose weight. I don't care if you want to find love. I care if you want to have more money in the bank. You have to have that burning desire. If you don't have that burning desire, you're not going to keep pushing forward. So when I hear someone who says, I want to lose 20 pounds, I say, okay, you want to lose 20 pounds. Okay. I want to have, I want to save $10,000. Okay. When I see someone who says that, but I don't see them doing anything and everything possible to get to that goal, they don't want it bad enough. And I'll tell that to them. Yeah, I used to not tell that to them, but now I at least tell it to them. So that's why most people don't declare openly what they want to do, right? So most people, they want to lose 20 pounds. They don't tell anyone because they know that if they tell people, they're going to be held to it, and someone's going to be now looking at them saying, hey, I thought you were going to lose 20 pounds. And I see you eating that donut. I thought you were looking to lose 20 pounds. You said you were going to lose 20 pounds. And I see you eating that pizza. So, what I say is, as far as, how do you hold that passion? You got to have the desire. You got to have the desire, and it has to be unwavering. I had to keep that desire to get ahead and rise above and be better than anyone else. And listen, you want to talk about kicked, stomped on, held down. There were so many things. Everyone can tell you. I don't need to go into the details of some of the things that I've gone through simply because the color of my skin. That's it. The color of my skin. There were certain things that were going against me. People against me. Which I always found incredible. But I said, you know what? I'm going to rise above it, and I'm going to just try to be that much better. I'm going to be that much better, I'm going to go a little bit harder, a little further. And I knew, even as a business owner, as a cop, as a student, I had to do a little bit more. I had to cheat. I had to cheat the right way. So if I knew that the kids in my pre-med course were studying 20 hours a week, I had to study 22 hours a week. If I knew that the officers at my department were getting to work 30 minutes or 15 minutes before shift, I got to work 30 minutes before shift. If I knew that other business owners were waking up at 6:30 in the morning, I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning. You can cheat and you can beat them. You got to just do the little things to give yourself an advantage. Give yourself an advantage in every situation. And that's exactly what I did. I just had that desire. And some people, if they don't have that desire, they're not going to do those things. If the guy next to you is automatically has an advantage, maybe because his skin is lighter than you, or he has wealthy parents, or, he's in the medical program and his dad's a, anesthesiologist, so he's going to automatically get a residency or whatever. That means you got to take a look at what he or she is doing and go in that desire, or else you just, and whether you want to say it to yourself or not, you just don't want it. You don't want it.
Let me say this. Somebody asked a good question. They said, where did you come up with the name 221B Tactical? Don't answer, Suresh.
Okay.
Semi-auto, some of you guys in here, for the 20 or so of you in here, head over to Suresh's page. If you can guess the right answer, Suresh will send you a pair of gloves. I know the answer.
There you go.
So if you can guess the right answer, he'll pick someone to win. So that'll be a fun deal.
Listen, I always tell people, and this is something I heard a long time ago. When you get knocked down, you only have two choices. You can ball up, hide your head, cry, wait for the second kick, wait for the second hit, scream, cower, or you could stand up, get angry, and go on the offensive and start taking some names. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all Jocko said it. You have two choices. You could throw down your weapon and wave the white flag, or you can slam a new mag in, rip that charging handle, and go get some.
Right.
That's it.
Right. I understand completely. I get it. I've been there. I've been there completely. I've been there where I've said, this business is crazy. I've been there where, I can't even get into the level of difficulty I've had at times, whether should I stay in this, should I not stay in this, should I go, should I run and hide. It's been really hard for me, and I don't need to tell you. But every now and then when I think, like I had people say to me, whether it was don't go to SHOT, or it was this business isn't for you, or we don't want people like you in this business, or we don't want this, or we don't want to change, or we don't want to evolve. And I've had companies I've talked to that are like, oh no, they still want to buy paper ads, and I was the one talking to them about social and about things like that. So difficult, Cassie. So difficult. And Suresh and some other people know what I've been up against through the years coming up. It's not easy. But I don't say, kind of like you, don't cry for me. That's every business. That's every business. I don't have a good woe is me tale. Every business you go into, it's going to be stacked up against you. I came out of college, I worked in finance. I went to the academy, I worked in finance. And in working in finance, I never should have made it. I never should have been successful at that. As a kid from East Boston, Massachusetts, I had little to no friends that were millionaires. I didn't know anybody that was a millionaire. I didn't have millionaire relationships. But I was uber successful at that for a long time. I had a lot of success. I loved it. I'd even say I killed it in it for a while. But did that light a fire in me? Was I, loving that business? No, I didn't love that business. I thought, I'll go be a cop. I'll ride off into the sunset, blah, 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 the usual stuff. I was like, that's what I'll go do. That'll make sense. I'll go do that. But, I knew deep down inside that my biggest skill, or you always like to use the term you like to use is my asset or my redeeming quality was always to bring people together and was always to unite people and to create synergy. And I love doing that. I have a lot of fun doing that. And to companies and to brands that enjoy that synergy and are looking to open markets and looking to develop, that's where I really hit a home run. And, we're all, Guy Sisterino likes to say this, Guy's good at this, give a Jersey guy some love. And a lot of people get caught up in drama and in this and in that and whatever it is, my woe is me and I can't get ahead and I can't do X or I can't do Y because of this. And I know it's going to kick us off the live and we'll come back on and we'll give everything away. But I want to tell everybody this. I'm going to steal it from Guy. You take the pen and you write your own story. You write your own narrative. And don't get caught up in the whole woe is me and why not me. And like I always say, you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep moving forward. So I know there's 1 minute left on this live. It'll kick us off.
I'm going to give away some winter gloves.
We're going to come back.
I'm going to come back and give away some winter gloves.
We're going to give away an optic.
It's cold.
We're going to give away an optic. I'm going to give everybody a few seconds when we kick off. And head over to Suresh's page. Head over to 221B Tactical. To everybody in here, head over to 221B Tactical. Leave him some love. Tag a friend. Send some people over there. He's people to win some gloves. Actually, go on my last post too and comment done when it's all done. And I need you to invite people in. We're not going to give it all away till 25 people are in. We're going to go over one or two other things about SHOT Show. So I'm going to sign off and sign back on, and we'll give it all away. So thank you to all you guys. You got a 30 seconds to go run around and leave the comments and the tags and head back in.
Peace out.
Peace. Coming back on IG with everybody there. Coming back on. So hopefully everything's rebooting so we can get everybody back in. I know everything's been moving a little slow. To anybody on YouTube, I know it's been kind of jerking in and out. Apologize. We'll get this rocking and rolling. We'll get it all tied together. So hopefully everybody's good. Let's see. Let people come back in. I'm going to give this away. Who wants a Riton Optic? Who wants a Mod 3 1x4? Mod 3 1x4. If you're on YouTube, on YouTube, please share this. If you guys in here haven't gone over yet, I started a Facebook page too. Dima, you want one? See if I can get you some gloves at least, Dima. Hopefully I'll be able to get back on. See if we can get you some. Everybody kind of file back in. Head over to Facebook, guys, and follow the John Bartolo Show. It's one of my pages, the public page. There we go. Get him back in. Cassie, you don't have Facebook? My mother has Facebook. There you are. Better connection too.
All right. We're back.
We're back. So let's start to give some of this stuff away. I'm going to go check the pages, guys. But I want everybody in here now to tap hearts, tap the paper airplane, invite people in. I'd like to get about...
We're going to get 25 people in here. We're going to do a giveaway right now.
25 people will start to give some stuff away.
Yep.
I'm going to check the pages, see some activity, see how we're doing. My page looks good. I'm going to check Suresh's. Get some comments on that. And while we're picking winners, before we pick winners, while we give you guys a minute, and I know some guys dropped the answer to the 221B tactical question. I'm going to check Suresh's page, get a spot update on it. So on his last...
Too easy. Listen, we're giving away some gloves to keep your hands warm.
Giving away a fucking optic.
It's 2 degrees outside, and then we're going to give you an optic to take out whatever target you got on your list. Because this right-on optic is the truth, and it's going to really going to change every, you guys have seen the right-on optics on my gun that I've run, and you're going to see a lot more of that coming in 2019. Stay tuned.
So I'm going to look it up right now, the retail value of the Mod 3. So the Mod 3... Well, Suresh is dying from the SHOT Show flu.
I'm dying.
The Mod 3 runs for about $339. It's a really slick scope. It'll cover all your needs. 1x4 kind of gets everything covered. Awesome stuff. So one guy asked how was SHOT. SHOT was good. Quiet. Good. I do want to bring up one thing. Well, everybody, I'm going to go over the rules, and I want to go over one more thing.
Hey, John, 1 second, real quick. 85 for real just has asked the same question twice. I didn't want to ignore him. Yeah, we were in Fort Worth. We were there with Fort Worth PD. We have a couple of stores in the Fort Worth area that are interested in carrying 221B tactical products. We are going through the process right now, figuring out how we're going to select that. So, if you are in the Fort Worth area, stay tuned. But we had a great time with Fort Worth PD and Dallas PD last few days. So you can check out some of that on our IG page. And a couple of posts ago, it was Fort Worth PD, and the Dallas PD was, I think, our last post or second to last post. So you can check that out. But yes, Texas is our #1 state. We are approaching 100 retailers around the world, and you're going to be seeing a lot more going on in Texas. And I will personally be back in Texas, I'm sure, later this year. John, you might be there too.
We're always in Texas, yeah. So to anyone that doesn't know about the optic, the right-on optic, I'm going to flash it by the screen here. I'm going to take a second. I want to give everybody a peek because I just did it for the YouTube guys. I want to give everybody kind of a peek at this. This is the Mod 3.
Look at that thing.
Pretty legit. Look at that. Great value.
Great sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, great value. So here's the rules to enter. Head over to iTunes or Podbean and leave a 5-star review. Head over to Podbean, download all the episodes. There's 25 of you. Head over to the John Bartolo Show and download the episodes. There's 25 of you in here. There's 5. What's that?
Let's get 30 people in here. We can do it.
Yeah, let's get 30 people in. Invite people in. Head over to iTunes, leave a 5-star review. leave a little review comment. Head over to my last post, tag the sponsors. Taurus, Riton, Kenzies, 221B. Comment done under my last post. Head over to Suresh's post. Tag a friend. Tag someone that hasn't seen his products. Tag someone that hasn't seen his stuff. And we're going to randomly pick from the pages and we're going to give it away. Suresh will pick a few people for gloves. He's going to post them on a story, the ones that win. So he'll pick a few people. What's up, Cody Bareface? He's going to pick a few people for
Cody, what's going on?
For gloves, and we'll pick somebody for the optic. We're going to do all that. But first, while you guys are doing that, tapping hearts, tapping the paper airplane in here to invite people in, little paper airplane down at the bottom. You know, Cody said let's get 50 people in. Tap the paper airplane. If everybody in here invites 5 people, you know, we'll get some people in. So I know you guys will be running in and out and doing that. We're going to tell a quick story. I did a post today. You can see, and Suresh and I have joked about this, my face in that post. And we told the story once already, but it's a really funny story, and it's worth bringing up. We were at SHOT Show, and of course, I get pulled in 100 directions, and, you know, like I said, my skill is really the introductions and meeting people and things like that. I'll let Suresh tell the story, but I shit you not, this person asked for a meeting, and it was really a surreal moment in my life where I just made that face like, oh, really? Okay.
That was the ultimate, is this guy for real?
Mm-hmm. It was the ultimate.
That was the ultimate, is this guy for real? And I heard it. I seen it. I was there.
Sorry.
I was there when it happened.
So to anyone who thinks, you know, and it's a great time for this to come up because I got a DM today. Somebody was, one of my guys was telling me, I got a DM, and people just like send me their number, and they're like, hey, bro, call me. And I don't even know these people.
Oh,
you
I
know,
get that all the time.
All the time. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Who are you? Who are you?
So, you know, I get this call, you know, and I'll let Suresh tell it, but I was legitimately standing there at a booth talking to someone, and with the straightest face, what did he ask for?
Well, it started out with some light, you know, peripheral conversation, and then you could tell he was working up to asking you what he wanted to ask you, and he looked you straight in the face and said, listen, I need you to get me a meeting with the president. And he wasn't joking. He was, right? He was dead serious. Like, John, I need you to get me a meeting with the president. So, here's what was funny about that. Well, you know, it's not funny, but it's kind of real, right? Is that this guy knew that John had capacity. And he truly felt that John had the level of capacity to get him, who, I don't even know if you knew that guy, like, really that
Just
well.
met him.
Just met him. And to ask him to get him a meeting with the President of the United States of America. So, one, I say that's a credit to the kind of person John is, because people are like, I think this guy could get me a meeting with the President, which is awesome. But the best part about it was that guy, he asked that with a straight face. He didn't laugh. He didn't joke. He didn't hit John on the shoulder and slap him on the shoulder and be like, yeah. He was like dead serious. Listen, man, I need you to get me a meeting with the president.
It happened.
And that was it. So I said, you know, you don't ask someone for that unless you feel like there's a chance that person might be able to make it happen. Like, you don't just ask anyone that, right? Mm-hmm. And there's obvious reasons. People know who John knows and things like that. But it was funny. It was beyond funny, just based on how serious this dude was. Dead serious. I was like, man, that's really, like, brazen.
So to answer some,
what did he want? What do you want to talk to the president about?
So to answer some of the people's questions flying by the board as to what I said in my reaction, You'd be surprised, and I know Suresh knows this, what I get asked and how I get asked it throughout my time at shows. More often than not, people are looking for access, right? You know, that's more often than not. And a lot of it is
proximity.
Whether it is they need 10 minutes with Tony or Branch or maybe whoever. You know, I have a lot of friendships, and I'm just picking on some of my friends for the moment. You know, it doesn't shock me what people ask for. I get asked all kinds of questions. You know, I have people ask me for rifles. I have people ask me for this. People ask me for that. And you sift through things. My initial reaction to this guy was, well, you know, I appreciate you, you know, believing in me, you know, in that capacity, you know, I appreciate you in that sense. But, you know, that's not something that I think is going to be in the cards. But let me take a look at, you know, what you have going on, what you're trying to accomplish, and let me see if it's something I can help with. Because I think, you know, some people are under the impression that because you have access, you just, you know, you'll just open your Rolodex up to anybody. And that's not how it works. You can't do that. You know, my best friends don't ask for that. You don't ask for that. And that's why I have a whole slew of photos like the one I posted where my face, you could just see it in my face. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, but I have a lot of closely, you know, held relationships as a result of my roles I've played in this business through the years. And I think that people understand that. And it's just one of those things, you know, I didn't get to where I am because of who I don't know. I got to where because it's all, you know, like people always like to say, it's who you know, not what you know. And that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Now, let me tell you this. I'll say this. And this is a lesson for everyone here watching. My hat goes off to that guy because he went for it.
Yeah. Oh, he went all in.
He went for it. He didn't hold back. He went for it. For whatever reason, he wanted that meeting. And he wanted to. There's how many people would have said, no way, I'm not going to ask him. I'm not going to ask him. I can't ask him. I'm not going to ask him.
Oh,
Most people, right? Most people would have said no. But, you know, he went for it. And the worst that could have happened is you say no and, you know, or you give him some kind of, you know, roundabout response. And he doesn't get the meeting.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
He wasn't going to get the meeting if he didn't ask anyway. So my hat goes off to him. He went for it. Crazy, but hey, he went for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with everybody in here. You know, I have a closely held personal relationship with some folks, and you know, and there are people of influence and so on and so forth, and that's great. But I don't leverage them the way that. You know, Rob, I'm working on that. I actually was just literally texting with him. I'm working on that, Rob. But, you know, I want to say this. I will help anyone. And Suresh knows better than anybody. I'll help to a fault. You know, part of my consulting business and the companies I work with and the people I work with, a lot of it revolves around getting people in front of people and creating meetings, and it goes beyond just media. This isn't Johnny photo shoot time. It's more creation of those opportunities. But I'll help anybody I can. But these are very, very closely held. I've only met Pence once. These are all closely held relationships, and they're not exactly something that I just kind of pimp out, you know, like that. So it's not that way. But for the most part, by and large, I try to create structure around that. And if I know you and I know the situation, I know what you're trying to accomplish, and there's something that I can do, I do like to do that. How do you feel about the wall, the government shutdown? I need to know what you guys think. You need to know semi-auto. So
that's a dangerous question. That's loaded.
Yeah, we tend not to get too political talking about this stuff, but I will say this. I think the wall's the right thing to do. I think if you go back historically and you look at whether it was Trump or it was, Bloomberg or any of these guys, that have gotten up there, Nancy Pelosi, all of them, they've all promoted the wall at one point or another and said the wall was a necessary evil. And now people have since backed down from that and gone in different directions and pushed different agendas. I think that it's a necessary thing. I think he's going to get it done regardless. I think the Democrats are making a fatal, fatal mistake, and I know we're in kind of a right side forum, but I think they're making a fatal mistake by pushing him on that. I think he knows he ran on that. There's one thing that sticks in Republicans' mind, and this is what Democrats forget. George Bush Sr. stood up there and said no new taxes, and what happened was he ended up taxing, and it cost him a second term. He is not going to back down from this. He is not going to back down. And if you know the history of this guy, this was a bad hill for them to die on. And that's a term that I like to use. This was a bad hill for for that whole crew to kind of stand on. And I'm going to come out and say it, guys. A lot of that Democratic leadership, Nancy, all of them, they look old, they look tired, they look, like it's time for a change there. And the winds are blowing. I look at this election a lot like the election that the Republicans went through when Ross Perot ran and you had Bob Dole running. I just see them as the Democrats just don't have anybody to throw out there, and they're throwing anybody they can out there to try to see if they can find, the next Kennedy or the next whatever. But yeah, I mean, Dima, they look defeated, and they look like shit. In plain English, they look like shit. And
I would love for some of these people to unlock their front door and leave their front door open, swinging open all night long. I would love for that.
Yeah.
I would love for that.
And
I would just leave your front door unlocked and leave it swinging open. Mm-hmm. So I'll just come in and I'll start hanging out and, maybe eating some chow out of your fridge or taking some stuff. Just leave your front door open, unlocked, swinging open for 1 week.
Yeah.
When you go to sleep at night, leave it open. When you leave the house during the day, leave it swinging open.
And he's going to win again. I'm going to say it here. He's going to win again. If this is the top tier of candidates they have, he's going to win again. Because he's a guy who says what he means, and he's going to do it. And I think nothing sticks to him. And that's the key. Yeah. That's the key. Yeah. And Bill Clinton had some of that. I don't want to get too political, but I'll talk about the wall. Do you think Trump will actually push the 2A agenda? I don't think he has to. I'll say that. I don't think he has to. I don't think, he'll be able to block anything unilateral, man. I don't think he has to. I'd like to see Don Jr. run, Dima. I'm trying to convince him. I'd like to see him run. Denny says the problem with socialism is that eventually you run out of other people's money. Denny, I don't necessarily. I like the way you put that, but I'm going to tell you how I characterize socialism and communism. The problem with people who push a socialist or communist agenda is they underestimate how long somebody's willing to wait in line for food. That's the number one thing.
People get hungry. When people get hungry and their families are starving, things start getting weird.
They underestimate how long somebody's willing to wait in line for a bagel. We don't want to wait 5 minutes for me to give away an optic, let alone wait in line for a bagel. And I'm giving away a free $300 optic. So to all these nouveau candidates that sprout up that want socialism, or they want 2% taxes for the billionaires, and they want this and they want that, the Elizabeth Warrens of the world, which God help us all how she got elected in Massachusetts, and I'm from there. Joe, yeah, that's the best way to put it. I had a great history professor when I was in college, and he said it the best. He said, the problem with communism is people don't want to wait in line. And you cannot get it. Look at Venezuela. It's a mess. It's a mess. And people come forward and they say, oh, the government needs to take over this and the government needs to take over that. And let me tell you something, guys. If that happens, you are in a world of hurt. If you have to go to the government and say, please, massa, give me, X, Y, or Z, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Yeah. You're in a world of hurt. Say goodbye to your guns. Say goodbye to anything. China has changed the paradigm. China's a little different animal, Denny. China's a little different animal. You could do a case study on China. The problem with China is population. The problem there is big population problem. And they don't have the resources. They need us. People underestimate how much China needs us. You know, and Trump knows that. They need our food, they need our grain, they need our oil, they need everything. Because they have a huge population problem. If we chokehold the oil and the food, they're in deep shit. I'll tell you what will kill China is resources. They don't have them. They don't have them. Is there any way in Massachusetts we can fight the 2A agenda? Just move. Just move.
Yeah,
move.
We were talking about that earlier, John and I.
Just move.
Move.
You ain't gonna fight
Jersey, out.
You're growing old fighting it. You're gonna grow old.
Yeah.
Just move. Why you aren't over the border in New Hampshire yet, I'll never know. Live free or die, brother. I did it. Go. Move. So that's the truth.
Let's give away some stuff.
Let's give away
some stuff.
Enough with the political stuff.
Roll, but I don't want to roll before I give away some stuff to keep people warm. So let's do it.
Let's do it. Devin, I missed your statement, and I apologize. I didn't see. I don't know what that means. All right.
On here. Who do we got on here?
There's Denny.
Right, I want everyone.
Denny's on here. I'd like.
Post.
Let's try to get Denny and Dima a pair of gloves here. Denny, head over to 221B Tactical and comment. I'm gonna rig a couple of winners, and then you'll pick a couple random winners. I want to get Denny was in the Gracie Jiu Jitsu with me.
Okay.
Good guy. And he's always loyal. He's always in here. He's always following. He's always active. He's asking the right questions. So, Devin, the rules are simple. Head over to 221B Tactical, tag a friend. Head over to my page and comment done when you leave a 5-star review on iTunes for the podcast, or you leave a 5-star review on Podbean, or leave a review on Podbean and download the episodes. So, we're going to give away some gloves. We're going to pick some random winners. And we're going to give away an optic. And maybe whatever else I have laying around. So do you want to pick a random one or two on air? I'd like to nominate Denny for a pair at least, and maybe Dima for a pair of gloves. How many pairs are you going to give away? Want to do 5?
Give away a couple of pairs.
Yeah. Give away 4 or 5.
Give away a couple of pairs. So Denny and Dima.
Mm-hmm.
Denny Bacardi.
Yep.
And Dima. Where do you guys live? Where does Dima live?
One's in Mass, and I think one's down south in Florida.
Danny, where do you live? And Dima, where do you live?
DM.
Well, you don't need winter gloves in Florida.
Well, he needs summer gloves. He needs the gloves, though. He's a brother in blue.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Miami. It's like 80 degrees there, man. It's like 8 degrees here.
Dima's in Mass, so he needs them.
Okay. All right. So, Danny, send me a DM. We'll send you our cut-resistant gloves. And Dima, we will get you some cold weather gloves because you're in Mass and you're probably cold AF.
AF.
So, and then we're going to pick one more person.
Pick a random. Go on your page.
One more person.
Pick a random.
Wow.
Or we can have somebody pick a random. We can nominate somebody like we used to, like the old days. I'm not going to pick the winner of the optic because people will say it's rigged. So
yeah, I'm gonna have Dima pick someone for a third pair of gloves.
Mm-hmm. And maybe after the third, Dima, go pick somebody for the gloves from either Suresh's page or my page, and I'll wait. And what we'll do is we'll have Cassie pick a winner for the Riton Optic. We'll take a minute to plug the sponsors. I want to give a thank you to Taurus USA. I want to give a thank you to Kenzies Optics. Great guys over at Kenzies. If you're looking for optics, head over to kenziesoptics.com.
Awesome
They
guys.
sell everything. Great guys. Oh, Mark, it's not rigged. Shut up.
Squared away customs. Come on.
Lancaster, you got to get in on one of these. You're on the next one. I'm putting you down just for that type of back talk.
Yeah, come on.
Come on. So And I want to give a big thank you to Riton. Riton was kind enough to donate this optic to give away. Awesome folks there. We spent some time with them and shot. Awesome leadership. Great time.
Dima said Union Electric guy. Okay?
Okay, he's super active. Union Electric, congratulations.
Union Electric, Dima, and Denny. Send a DM to 221B Tactical, and we are going to get you your gloves out to you. So, Union Electric linemen, Dima and Denny. DM 221B Tactical, right here on the gram, and we're going to get you your gloves. You're going to love them. We're going to keep you warm where you're working, Dima and Union Electric linemen. And Denny in Miami, you're going to get awesome patrol gloves because you're warm as it is down there.
Denny's the man. So, Denny's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Damn.
He doesn't like to talk about it.
I just posted a jiu-jitsu post. I don't know if you guys saw that. Mm-hmm. I just put a jiu-jitsu post up.
Hey, I got to live with a black belt. So.
I know.
So.
Well, I got to run. So thank you to everyone who came on here tonight to support. And someone is going to win an optic, which the optics I run, sure.
Well, we're going to have Cassie pick it. We're going to have Cassie pick
Cassie's going to pick it?
Yeah, they'll cry it's rigged if I don't.
I know. You got to. Cassie's unbiased.
Cassie's loyal, unbiased, and she's making a big comeback to social media. She's been off the interwebs for a little bit. So, Cassie, do me a favor. Go either to Suresh's page, 221B Tactical. So, everybody, I'm going to give you 30 seconds because Suresh got to get off here. Head over to 221B Tactical, comment and tag. Head over to my page, comment and tag. Cassie's going to pick a winner. You have about 30 seconds to do this.
Let's do it.
Cassie, you got 1 minute to give me an answer. And before we wrap, I'm going to have Suresh plug whatever he's got going on. He's got some stuff coming out. He has a backpack. He has all kinds of things. So plug whatever you want to plug before we wrap.
Well, we got the backpack that we launched at SHOT Show, the Ultimate Assault Pack. It has, it can be carried as a backpack, right sling, left sling, has all kinds of features. And it also has a concealed weapon compartment that is accessed through magnetic closures, so no Velcro, no zippers. It's pretty cool. Something different that the market needed, I felt. So we already sold out of that bag, but you can order one today and get your pre-order status if you want, because we have the next shipment coming in, and get one of those in the next shipment. We have something in the works that is going to be coming out this spring that is, let me just say, for the law enforcement world, going to really turn things upside down. So stay tuned for that. And also this spring, we have a couple of items for the canine world, police canine handlers and canine decoys. We have some products coming out for that as well. So just stay tuned for that. We always got something innovative coming out because that's the name of the game. We got to keep innovating and keep moving the industry forward and taking care of our heroes in uniform, and that's what we are doing. So stay tuned for all of that. Make sure your notifications are turned on. Make sure you head over to John's podcast, leave a 5-star review, leave some comments about what you thought. The whole premise of what he's doing is to bring good content to you, share some knowledge with you, help make you a better person, make you a little bit wiser, a little bit more well-rounded. That's what it is, sharing knowledge with each other. So
I appreciate it.
Make sure you do
so
that.
Cassie, it looks like she picked a winner for the Riton Optic. At Chasing Dreams is the winner of the Riton Optic. So,
all right.
At Chasing Dreams, I don't chase people. Do me a favor and send me a DM, or I'll try to send you one. I wrote it down here. Claim your prize.
Damn.
Claim your prize.
Good job, Cassie. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Cassie. Cassie's always an unbiased. For those of you that don't know, Cassie's always been a loyal listener and unbiased, and she's won quite a few prizes. She's been through this, so she knows the game. So thank you, Cassie. I appreciate it. She's always fair. She's the wife of a veteran, so she's a sweetheart. We appreciate you, Cassie. And
John, we got to come back next week and do a big giveaway. Maybe give away a backpack or something like that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Come back next Thursday.
Let's do it. So we're going to sign off here. We've been going at it for almost 2 hours, so I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate everybody's efforts. Look for this on iTunes. Don't forget, please, guys, head over to YouTube.
Spread the word.
Yep.
Spread the word.
Spread the word.
Spread the word. Tell people about the podcast. Tell people about the lives that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Spread the word. Share the wealth.
I'm probably not going to... Yeah, I'm probably not going to do this tomorrow, guys. I'm probably going to come back Sunday and do a Super Bowl episode. Fridays tend to be a quiet night. I like to let everyone have their Friday date night. And Saturday we'll come back and we'll do... thanks, Denny. I appreciate it coming from you for sure. Saturday we'll take a little break too, and we'll come back Sunday with something strong pre-Super Bowl. We'll talk all sports. We'll talk the Super Bowl. We'll leave the tactical stuff aside. We'll wrap on that. And next week, maybe next Thursday, we'll set this up Wednesday, Thursday. Suresh and I will get together. We'll do this again. I'll get something crazy going. We'll give away a pistol. We'll do something nuts. We'll do a bag, a pistol, maybe a holster from Crossbreed. We'll do something crazy. Yeah, we'll do something crazy.
The bag and the Crossbreed holster.
We'll do the bag. We'll do the gun. We'll do the holster. We'll do the whole works. Make sure you turn on notifications. I appreciate everybody and thank you guys. And I'll get back to you soon. We're gonna head out. Appreciate it. Peace. That is it. We are signing off. Thank you, Suresh. Thank you, everybody. Please thank the sponsors, everybody. Head over to their pages and give them a big thank you. Let's finish here.